FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
You know, I love girls. I just love everything about girls, and I love the girl in all of us. You know, I think all of us have girl selves, men and women. And I think, you know, I spoke at TED India about these girl selves because I was trying to be really smart like all the TED people, and I thought, okay, I'm going to do something about selves, you know, because there's so many scientists and astronomers and biochemists. So I said, I'll do a talk on the girl cell, and it was amazing to me how many men came up to me after to thank me. I mean, one Indian man came and he was, thank you for honoring the girl in me. I'm a girl in me, I have a girl in me. And all these really beautiful men were coming up to me saying, you know, I always knew I had a girl in me, but no one's ever allowed the girl in me. And one man said to me that he has been telling his wife they have to have boys, but he was going home to make 4 girls, you know. And I thought, oh God, his wife's gonna be busy, you know. But I think what I am struck by often about girls is how everybody's taught not to be one, right? Boys are taught not to be, what's a boy? Not a girl. You know, how do you know you're a boy? You're not a girl. What's a girl? Don't be a girl. What's a woman? Not a girl. What's a man? Not a girl. What's a leader? Not a girl. So I started to think that must be very powerful, girls, if everyone is being taught not to be one, you know? And I guess maybe I'm a person who really stopped when I was 15. Like, I think if you said, what age are you? I think I'm 15. And I look at myself and I still see myself as 15, like nothing has changed, even though people apparently think I'm older. But I think, what is it about that time that I want to be or feel? And I think part of it is that I was fully alive and intense. I was myself. And
where were you at 15?
You know, physically, or or
every way.
I was in New York, and but I was living in a very difficult circumstance. You know, in a family that was very violent and fraught, and I was being told on a daily basis that I was too intense, too dramatic. They called me Sarah Bernhardt. I didn't even know who she was, but I knew I wanted to be her, and I was too alive. I was always two. You're two. You're two. You're two. And, you know, I think most girls are told that. Most girls are told you're being too emotional. Most boys, forget boys. The minute you're born as a boy, you're said, done. No feelings, no crying, no not knowing, no outbursts, no revealing your vulnerability. But for girls, that happens a little later. You get to be emotional for a while, and then you begin to get shut down. And I think, for me, at any rate, having spent the last 12 years traveling the world to probably 60 or 70 countries, living in very difficult circumstances in kind of the rape mines of the world, I just began to see all these different girls in various circumstances, whether it was in Beverly Hills, where they were obsessed with, you know, becoming pencils and looking like pencils, or whether it was in, you know, Bulgaria, where girls were held as sex slaves, or whether it was in Kenya, where girls were fighting female genital mutilation, or whether it was in, you know, Westchester, where girls wanted purple Uggs, and if they had that pair of purple Uggs, they would finally be somebody, or whether it was girls who allowed boys to beat them up. It didn't matter. What became very clear is that across the planet, there is this mandate, this cultural, familiar, societal, religious mandate that says girls are here to please. Girls are here to please. That's the verb, to please. And, you know, you can look at a young girl in Palestine whose boyfriend died, and she's being told to kill herself and blow herself up to serve that culture, or an Israeli girl who's being told to join the army, or a girl who's being told, and it doesn't matter. It's the same story, which is, you have to stop being you in order to serve a particular mandate. And I think, for me at any rate, the hunger to change the verb is so great. Let's get rid of please altogether. Let's just put it on the shelf for the next 30 years. We can go back to it later. But I think the verb has to be to challenge, to dare, to resist, to create, to divide, to know any other verb but please. And I think when that starts to happen, we will begin to really support girls, particularly being their authentic selves, having their voices, stepping into their fully embodied original selves. And they're fierce. Girls are fierce when they're allowed to be that full, original, you know, thing that girls are. We did this production of Emotional Creature in New York that Rosario Dawson directed, and we had all these girls from, all over New York, and it was Upper East Side girls, it was girls from foster homes, it was girls from Hedrick Morton, it was just the whole range. These girls, after 2 weeks of very little rehearsal, they just took the stage. We were like, oh my God. Stand back when girls get their power. Stand back, because it's a new resource. It's like wind. Like we haven't had wind, and we're going to have wind now, And I think I have great hope that when girls are actualized, and when the girl in boys is actualized, there will be, again, another kind of shift in all of this.